Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. I hope you are well. Welcome to another episode of English with Abdi and Sara. I am Sara. In this video, we will discuss tenses. Now, tenses mean time. Some actions can be done yesterday, which means the time is in the past. These kind of actions, we call them past tense actions. Otherwise, sometimes we can do things in the present time or in the time that we are speaking. So these kind of sentences, we call them present tense. Sometimes we do the action or we plan to do some actions in the time which has not yet arrived. These are called future tense. Tenses are divided into three major groups: present tense, past tense, and future tense. These are further subdivided into 4 groups each, which gives us a total of 12 tenses in English language. Today we are going to look at simple present tense, which is the most commonly used tense in English. It has various applications. The first place we can use simple present tense is when referring to routine or repeated actions. Also, when we are talking about truths that don't change. Whenever we are talking about feelings, states, or opinions. Also, when we are reporting live actions or live events like football or sports, we can use simple present tense. Equally, when we are planning future actions. We will look at this in details later in this video. In simple present tense, we can make positive sentences, negative sentences, as well as question sentences. When looking at positive sentence, the form is subject plus an infinitive plus the rest of the sentence. When I talk about infinitive, I simply mean the verb or the action word. Now, an infinitive is the original form of the verb without adding anything. There are 2 ways we are going to look at this. If the subject is a singular third person, that is he, she, or it, then we need to add s or es to the infinitive before we add the rest of the sentence. For example, he eats a banana. He is my subject because this is the doer of the action. Eats is my verb, but it is the combination of the infinitive it plus the suffix s. So we read it as eats. And then we add the rest of the sentence, which is a banana. Another example is she loves Somalia. My subject is she and my verb is loves and the rest of the sentence is Somalia. Now we have to add s because our subject is she. Last example, it catches a rat. It is a subject referring to animals or non-living things in English. Catch. The spelling of the word catch is C-A-T-C-H. Whenever a word ends in ch and you want to make it a singular verb, you must add es. Now, what about if the subject is I or we or you or they? What do? In this case, we don't add anything to our infinitive. It stays the same. For example, I will say, I eat a banana. I don't add any s or es to my verb. We love Egypt. You catch a rat. They study English. These are positive sentences. Let us look at the form of negative sentences. Now, in a negative sentence, we need a helper. The helpers are don't or do not and doesn't or does not. Again, we will group our subject into two categories. The first group is I, we, you, and they. These ones take the helper don't. And then you add the infinitive. Do not add anything to the verb. Use the original form of the verb. If the subject belongs to the category she, he, or it, then you must use the helper doesn't. Again, do not add anything to your infinitive. Let me read out these sentences loud. I don't eat bananas. I don't eat. Notice, eat does not have any S. We don't love Egypt. You don't catch a rat. They don't have passports. She doesn't eat a banana. He doesn't smoke cigarettes. It doesn't catch a rat. Now that we have looked at positive and negative, let us see if we can form question sentences. In this, we also need a helper and we also need to change our punctuation at the end of the sentence. The helper stays the same, don't and doesn't, but the position changes. If our subject falls under the category I, we, you, or they, then we use the helper don't. However, if our subject falls under the category she, he, or it, that is, if it's a single female or a singular male or a singular animal, then the helper is doesn't. When we are making question sentence, the helper comes first at the beginning of the sentence. It will read as so. Don't I eat a banana? Don't we love Egypt? Don't you work in Mogadishu? Don't they study English? Doesn't she drive a van? Doesn't he love Egypt? Doesn't it catch a rat? Notice, in all these cases, there is a question mark at the end, and the verb stays as original form or as an infinitive. Let us look at the orders. In positive sentence, we have a singular plus an infinitive plus es or s. Singular are he, she, it, plus verb plus the rest of the sentence. I, you, and plural, we add infinitive, we do not add any suffix. These are I, we, you, they. Negative or not. Negative means refusing or not agreeing to by adding the word not. But in this case, we will use a helper. So the form in summary is singular plus doesn't plus infinitive. He, she, or it doesn't smoke cigarettes. Otherwise, if the subject is plural, we will use I or plural plus don't plus infinitive. Example in a sentence: I don't have a passport. Question form summary. In question forms, the helper comes at the very beginning of the sentence and you have to put a question mark at the end of the sentence. Doesn't plus singular plus infinitive and a question mark. Example: doesn't she drive a van? Or don't plus I or you or plural form plus infinitive and a question mark. Don't we work in Mogadishu? Now, as I said earlier, there are applications or places where we can use simple present tense or where we are required to use simple present tense. The first one being, we can use a simple present tense when we are talking about things that we do regularly or repeatedly. We are sure we will do them today, we will do them tomorrow, and we did them yesterday. We are sure even next year we will still do them. For example, he prays 5 times a day. Muslims pray 5 times a day for the rest of their lives. They are sure it is going to happen. This kind of sentence, you must use a simple present tense. You must remember to add s if the subject is singular or remove the s if the subject is plural. Another example: Zainab brushes her teeth after every meal. The boys go to school every day. This video is a series, so I don't want you to miss anything. Please subscribe. We use a simple present tense with truths that don't change. The sun rises in the east. Somalia is in Africa. Mohamed Salah plays for Liverpool. These are facts that don't change. Even if we wake up in Asia or Europe, the sun will always rise from the east. Do you know another fact about Somalia? Leave it in the comment section below. I would like to learn. The third place where we apply simple present tense is when we are talking about feelings. Feelings are thoughts or the state of mind of a reporter. If you see children jumping and singing, you will think or you will feel that they are happy. And because you are reporting about how you feel, you will have to use simple present tense. You will say, the children feel happy. Another example, if you look at a team with sweat running down their face and they are breathing hard, you may think that they are tired. Perhaps it is true or maybe not. But the correct sentence to use is in simple present form. You will have to say, the team seems tired. Give me another example of feelings. The next application is in talking about states. States means, or state of being means, the way things are at the moment. These sentences are facts, but they may change depending on time or other factors. Example, I live in Somalia. This means currently the reporter lives within Somalia, but may live and go to another country or another place. Another example, my friend works in Egypt. It means currently he or she is in Egypt working, but they may find a job someplace else. Opinions. Opinions are thoughts or ideas. Every person is different. Take an example. If you write 9 on the floor and you take 2 people to stand on the opposite side, one standing at the tail may look at it and see 9. One standing at the head will look at the picture and see 6. Both of them are right because from their perspective, each one sees a different letter. So is opinions. Opinions are not the same. Another example. Somali people practice business. This may be true or maybe not, but it is an idea of an individual. Practice is a verb that must be used as a simple present. Next example, English is easy. Some people think English is easy. Some other people think it is difficult. Again, these are individual opinions which are not verified facts. In this case, you have to use a simple present tense form of the verb. Now the next category is future plans and schedules. If you are having a plan to do some action in the time which has not yet arrived or in the future time, then you must use simple present tense, but you must add adverbs of future time. Example, here is a plane and it is almost leaving. The engine has started. It will leave in the next 30 minutes. What you will say is, the aeroplane leaves in 30 minutes. It means the action is not yet done, but it is sure and it has been planned in the next few minutes in the future time. Our verb leaves has a suffix s because the plane is singular. The time 30 minutes indicates a future adverb or a future time. Another example. Currently, all the schools are closed, but the government is planning to reopen schools on the 15th of next month. Therefore, in English, you could say, all schools open next month on 15th. Pause this video and write for me all the application places where we can use simple present tense. Equally, I'd like for you to write the order or the form of simple present tense. At this point, I will give you more adverbs of time that we can use with simple present tense. I will read out English part and the Somali equivalent. I must say that I am not sure this Somali is correct, but if it is wrong, please leave the correct spelling in the comment section below so that the next person reading may read and learn. Thank you in advance. The first one is always. Always means markasta. Monthly. Monthly is used for things that you plan to do every month or after every 30 days. Billcaster. Weekly. Weekly are things we plan to do after every 7 days or after every week. Asbucaster. Regularly. Regularly is similar to always. It means the things that are done repeatedly many times. See Joktoa. Rarely. Rarely are things that we don't do a lot of times. Maybe one time after a long period of time. Difdifa. Once. Once is used by adding another part of time. We can say once a day or once a week. You have to add something. That is why you see a small dash. Or once a year. Halger. Normally. Normally is something which we don't have a problem repeating. Normally and regularly and always are similar. They are close to one another. Normally, see earlier. Sometimes it's like the opposite of regularly. Marmarkar. Generally, see good. Yearly, as the name suggests, is something we do every year. Once after every year. For example, we have Ramadan yearly. So the month of Ramadan appears one time every year. Sanad kasta. Twice. Twice is also an adverb that you must use with another time. You can say twice a day, twice a month, twice a week. So you add another time at the end. Labucher. Often. Some people like to say often, but the correct pronunciation is often. The T is silent. Intabadan. Hardly ever. Hardly ever is something you don't do always. Maybe the duration between one action and the next action is really long. So we can say marmar. I'm not sure about this one. This one you'll have to help me with the proper translation. Daily, Malin Kasta. We pray 5 times a day, or we pray 5 times daily. That means yesterday you prayed, today you pray, tomorrow you'll pray, next day you'll pray. It is something you do, Malin Kasta. Occasionally. Occasionally also means marmar. Never means something you do not do whatsoever. For example, I never swim. I don't know how to do that. I never go to Bakara market. I don't know where it is. I never ride a bicycle. I don't have a bicycle. Never. What is the correct translation for never in Somali? Every time. Every time is wakti kasta. Wakti. Time is wakti. Every means kasta. So every time means wakti kasta. From time to time. From time to time means something you do repeatedly but without a standard duration time. So say maybe you did it on a Monday or 1 week and then you skip and after the second week or the third week, like that, without a proper protocol. Wakti. Again, I'm not sure about this translation, but feel free to make correction in the comment section below. Seldom and rarely mean the same thing, and also hardly ever. 3 of them, seldom, rarely, and hardly ever, they mean almost the same thing. It means the duration between one action and another is very long, that it is really insignificant. So we say seldom. I seldom speak French. That means I speak it, yes, but it's not very often. So that they told me it is called dif. Frequently and occasionally almost mean the same thing, and always and regularly they mean almost the same thing. Frequently, markasta. Scarcely also mean dif. If you've been with me up to this point, congratulations. All you have to do is probably replay the video so you can get it again. I request you to please subscribe to this video so that we can make the next one together. Thank you and have a nice time.